Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having lean ground beef, stir-fried vegetables, and a little guacamole. Again, I'm aware this is very high volume. I'm cutting. I ate a lot of steamed vegetables, a lot of protein. Okay, that's normal. That's how it works, guys. All right, over to the neck training thing, and I thought this was interesting because I just assume maybe people watch my vlogs and they're aware of what my stance is, why it's is what it is, how it's shifted over the years. And I did some first time I've ever shown on camera me doing a set of neck extensions. And I had couple people get upset. Well, you used to hate on neck training. Why did you change all of a sudden? And it's like, I've been doing neck training for years. That's the funny thing. And the neck training that I largely hated on, I still don't do, by the way. For those curious, I don't actually train all angles of the neck. What did I say in the past? And go back to even those old videos. Go back to those old videos. Okay, where I did, say I had some issues with neck training. Which, I remind you guys, I don't know why you listen to a guy who had years less coaching experience than I do right now. Okay, 2021 Jason. Hitting 600 plus pound squats and deadlifts on camera with a very successful coaching business. Coaching is my full-time job. Why are you listening to some guy who was only squatting 500 pounds, not running a big successful coaching business? Like, why are you listening to that guy? I wouldn't listen to me back then, so I don't even understand what the point is. And I'm not saying I didn't get a lot of stuff right and I didn't help tons and tons of people I did. But by comparison, you can't do that. A lot of this changed when I started coaching a lot more. That made a big difference in what I started doing on camera, by the way. Everyone is fully aware of that. I've made that clear as I've been doing it. As far as the neck training goes, I've been neck training for years, and I have publicly said that 50 times. Okay? I've said at least 50 times I do neck training. I've said why I do it. But you go back to the old data, what were my problems? My problems were people working too much of the front, potential for sleep apnea. And I pointed out, heavy anabolic use can cause the same thing, cause those muscles to grow, cause sleep apnea. You're getting one of the biggest health risks of anabolics and none of the benefits. It seems silly. And if you want to train all angles of your neck, fine, that's your business. I choose not to train certain angles for that risk. The angle that I train is functional for a number of reasons, and I only do one type. I do neck extensions. I don't do side stuff. I don't push forward. I don't do any of that. It's all neck extensions. That's not going to have a risk of that, number one. Okay, so a big part of that, I haven't fully changed. I never really changed my stance there. What did I also say? And I addressed this back then, even when I was critical of neck training. Did I not address the research on concussions in contact sport athletes? Yes, I did. And I said, even then, well, if you're going to compete in a contact sport with a risk of concussion, now, what does contact sport mean? American football, rugby, any fighting sport, boxing, MMA, judo, BJJ, doesn't matter, right? Any of those. How about if you're going to do horse riding? You're going to be serious about serious dirt biking or skateboarding, okay? Anything where you could break your neck or you can get concussions from falling is a serious hobby or sport. Okay, you may want to consider neck training. And I even said that back then. Because there were studies that showed it dramatically reduced the chances of concussions for these sort of athletes. That makes sense because, you can always go on a CPAP if you have to. I mean, tons of power lifters and strength athletes go on a CPAP. So you've got to weigh out with your lifestyle, is breaking your neck or getting a concussion worth it to you? Wouldn't you rather, worst case scenario, if you're going to continue that hobby or sport, just go ahead and sleep with a CPAP on at night with the machine hooked up? The worst case, let's say your neck gets hypertrophied to a point where it causes an issue, and you put on a CPAP and sleep in that. It's still better than breaking your neck, risking it. So, it's a trade-off, and it's a trade-off you have to make for yourself. And I said that back then. Now, in my case, I train a lot of fighters. I also work with some rugby. Okay. So in the case of some of these people, we do neck training. So I'm coaching people who are training this stuff, by the way. But it's a risk analysis. It's context dependent. In my case, being fully aware of that and coaching people who do it, I've been doing neck training for years for a couple of reasons. Number one, I get strains really easy on the backside of my neck, right? Because I do spend a fair amount of time at my desk training. It helps with that. It helps with that neck strain because I do spend a lot of time with the head leaned forward. I do, because most of my job is at a desk technically, online coaching, doing videos, all that stuff. I spend a decent amount of time at a desk. Okay, so I train it there. Number two, some feel that those muscles of the neck can help with deadlift lockouts. I'm not fully sold on it, but I'm not willing to take the risk. Number three, I started doing safety bar work, and I find that if I don't do neck extensions, I get headaches from the safety bar. Okay? I get headaches from the safety bar because of the stress it puts on my neck. So therefore, it alleviates that. It makes the safety bar more comfortable. Makes the safety squat bar more comfortable for squats and good mornings and all that stuff if I've been doing neck extensions. And you guys see I go decently heavy. I do work sets with a 55-pound plate. Okay, that's what I choose to do. But again, I just train the one angle. I'm not training all angles of the neck. And the other thing is, yes, I may, if my life, I can't do it right now. I'd love to get into a fighting sport and do it as a side thing. I got to focus on powerlifting right now. I got to focus on my coaching business. I don't have the time. Quite frankly, I don't. But I would love to get into something like boxing. Boxing would be fun. I'd like to go do boxing. It would be fun. I'd consider it. So if I end up doing something like that, I'd rather have my neck built up ahead of time. All right? Lower that chance of a concussion. If I choose to do something like that. And that is actually something I've thought about. Like if I had the free time and I wasn't worried about growing my business, wasn't worried about powerlifting, yeah, I'd probably go do boxing. I'd take up boxing. Go practice a couple days a week. It would be fun. I would enjoy it. I don't have the time, but it's something I've thought about. And so again, I do the neck training. Again, for a whole host of reasons. That being probably the least important, because it's not on the table right now, but it's a future possibility. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.